Today we have a great training for you guys. We have Chantel Freilich, is that correct? Okay, Freilich, with Fidelity National Title. Whenever you're ready, ma'am, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Okay, awesome. So
Turn your mic on.
hey there, can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Hello. There's a little echo.
How about now?
Perfect. Well,
I still got an echo.
yeah. It's good.
This is so important that it's repeating it. Say that again?
The speaker, turn the speaker on.
Yeah. Okay. How about that?
Perfect.
Awesome, awesome. So, so what I came in to talk to you all about today is about effectively farming your sphere. Now, I'm not going to talk to my computer, I'm going to talk to y'all. So, we all know that in real estate, so I'll just give you a little bit of background about myself first. So I'm with Fidelity National Title. I've been with Fidelity for 8 years. I've been on the title side for 10, but I come from real estate. So I was an active agent for over 10 years. So I've been in the industry for 20 now. It's hard to believe. But I do look at everything from the aspect of a realtor. What works, what doesn't, what is actually, what's actually going to make you money, make you more efficient with your time, your efforts, and help you reach your goals. That is, I mean, my real job is to bring in contacts into my office. That's how I get paid. I'm just like y'all. I'm commissioned, so that's how you. But my true agenda is, number one, to help people with what I would have found valuable when I was an agent, and number two is to raise the standards of our industry. I work with a lot of agents. I see a lot of contracts, and a lot of times I'm just like, oh my God, this is so wrong. But again, so this part of it though is to help you build your business. Now, there are two different models. There is the cold calling, buying the leads and doing that, and that is an effective business model. There is the other business model of having a repeat and referral based business. That is truly the one that I advocate. It is solely built on, truly relationships. And you are, just when I was talking about being good at your craft and knowing what you're the best agent that you can possibly be, that's what ensures you repeat and referral clients. Now, the part where everybody falls down, and if someone says they don't, they're lying, is in the follow through. We become so focused on what we're doing, the files that we have in front of us, that literally it's like watching, those, prairie dogs. As soon as the file closes, everybody looks up, it's like, okay, where's the next file? And we have a bad habit of stopping prospecting when we have a file in front of us. And that is, and not to sound too dramatic, it's the kiss of death. Right. So again, this is about creating that referral-based business, repeat and referral-based. Now, every coach, broker, your mom, everybody tells you, pull out your list and make your calls, right? And everyone gravitates to like 5% of their list. And those are your friends that you are in their ambient environment, and they're yours. The rest of them, you're like, I'm gonna talk to them in 2 years. I'll call them later, and later never happens, right? So this system, and this is not something else that you've got to buy, pay for, monthly sign up, whatever, because you will get nickeled and dimed to death as an agent. This is not that. I'm going to give you everything. And this is not something I made up in the shower, okay? This actually came from my coach. She's a coach out in California. She coaches select top reps across the country, and she teaches us what to teach y'all. Right. Now, yeah, so this is truly effective. Now, having said that, Having said that, Coach Lisa, and I call her Coach Lisa because my boss's name is Lisa too, so I, might have to separate the two. So she sent out that, she had the system created, that, and this is what she's been doing for years and years, because she was actually in sales for 18 years prior to this. So it's not, again, not something someone just made up and like in theory it works. No, this actually does work. So y'all don't know me, but and my friends who know me will tell you, I am the probably most touchy-feely person. I will mother you to death if you let me. It's just, I remember my husband said, you can't adopt all your clients. I'm like, why not? Why not? I mean, it's like when you work, when you work with people on the most intimate levels of what are your goals, what are your aspirations, what is your objective, and you help you become their partner in getting them there, there's no way they don't become like family to you. It's just, unless you're dead inside, I don't know. So when Coach Lisa sent this out, so there's two parts. There's the rehydration part, and there's the maintenance part.
Right.
So in the rehydration part, there's an email that you're going to send to everyone in the list. Now, when I receive it, I'm looking at it like, okay, yeah, for me, even this is 2 cans. I mean, I'm like, yeah, no, this smacks of a sales campaign. I don't want it to be that. That's not what this is. So in your marketing, you have 3 layers to your marketing. You have your industry centric. This is everything that's going out automatically. It is your email drips, campaigns, newsletters that go out, postcards. It's whatever that has, your face, your logo, everything on there just sold, asking for referrals, open houses, everything that you're sending out. That's your industry centric, right? Then this part is the 3rd layer. This is the completely organic, authentic, personal layer. The middle layer is a combination of the two. That's social media. That is your Instagram, your Facebook, Snapchat, Clubhouse, whatever it is that you're using. And just keep in mind with the social media, it really needs to be 70% personal, 25% work, and 5% community. Because people need to know you. They work with us because they like us. And all the other industry-centric stuff is telling them that I am a professional. I know my stuff. I am thorough. I'm the resource for all things. That's when you know that you really are a valued, resource for them. When they come to you for stuff that's not even real estate.
Right.
Then you're like, okay, I'm good. So you just want to make sure. I see agents make mistakes on social media. All you see are the open house this, open house that, open house this. And you're like, oh my God, I missed pictures of your food. That's how bad this is.
Right.
I want to see more. I want to see you with your dog. I mean, you don't have to overshare.
Right.
And there's no, I had a fight with my significant other or anything like that. But it's the positives. Obviously, stay away from politics, religion. It's all the normal stuff, right? So, but this is the personal layer. And the reason why this is so important is if you think about if an old friend of you, the only time that they called you was to ask for something, how often would you take that call?
Never.
Yeah. Someone gave me a good answer. They said 2. The first time it's kind of like, the second time, like, yeah, we're done. After that,
after it's established.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah, but it's like you would never take their call, right?
Right.
It's not, you're not calling me because you care about me. You're calling me because you want to know if I know anybody you can sell life insurance to. It's just this. That does not make me feel special. It just makes me kind of you.
Right.
So having said that, that is why in this part of your marketing campaign, what you do for marketing, this is completely personal. Now, I do want to point out, so I've talked to folks, and so when I talk about the 3 layers, oh, I do that, or I do that. And I'm like, well, this is not multiple choice.
Right.
And I hate to be a hard nose about it, but this is not multiple choice. It's like working a puzzle. It doesn't work if pieces are missing. It just doesn't work.
Right.
And it's the same thing with your marketing. You need to do all 3. Okay, so now on the rehydration part, say you've got, you're gonna send an email to every single person in your sphere. That's your friends, your family, your past clients, right? Let me share the,
You gotta go on your,
I clicked this, but
on
I
the
gotta,
actual Zoom.
yeah, but I'm pulling it up so I'll see where it is. There it is. Okay. All right. Okay. So when Coach Lisa sent me this, it was sending us the instructions and everything about it, talking about it. You're going to send an email to everybody in your sphere. Now, her original email, it was subject line is happy birthday. And then it says, hey, not just yet, but I was checking my birthday book and you're not there. Please send me, your birthday. And I'm just like, it sounds like a sales campaign. Right. And I'm like, yeah, no, even I wouldn't feel comfortable sending this.
Right.
So let me put it up so they can see now. So I thought about it. I didn't want to just disregard it completely. It's like, it always cracks me up when people, they pay money to doctors, they pay money to attorneys, they get their advice and then they don't take it. So why am I paying a coach and then be like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
Right.
So, so I thought about it and I actually remembered, because it stuck with me for a long time. There's a friend that I had a long time ago. He's passed away since then, but he was the bartender at my friend's bar down in Montrose. Now, Fred, he was the original curmudgeon. I mean, like seriously, he answered the phone at the bar. Whack. I mean, remember my ex-husband walked in. He was known for his horrible Hawaiian shirts, and Fred didn't even crack smiles, like, nice shirt, and your couch die. So, he was wonderfully, awfully grumpy.
Right.
But he had lived in a garage apartment for like 15 years. And no wonder he'd never been married. And he was like in his late 60s at the time. The only reason he was moving was because the garage was falling down. And so I'm like, well, I'll help you. And this was back again, 06, 07, where it was like $500 for a garage apartment, $600.
Right.
This was a long time ago. And I remember he was like, he stopped one afternoon. He's like, I'm really sorry that you're having to waste your time with me because I know this is not a lot of money for you. And it broke my heart. I mean, it really did. I'm like, Fred, I love you.
Right.
It's like, if we weren't doing this, we wouldn't be hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking then, it's like, if I'm not working with my friends, I don't see my friends. That's not a life.
Right.
Did I do anything about it? Nope. I went on because it's hard unless you're disciplined about it. Just like you're not prospecting because you're focused on what's in front of you,
Right.
and life is flying by you. So I used that and put it in here. So what I did here is that this is what I've added to it because it needs to be authentic.
Right.
And so I'm going to give y'all templates for everything. You're more than welcome to use my story. You can put yours in. You can tweak it however you want. But what I wrote here is like, I've realized that if I'm not working with my friends, I don't get to keep up with my friends. So I'm making a personal high priority goal to connect and stay connected with my friends and family to create truly good and genuine balance in my life. And I mean that. I truly do.
Right.
That is, and if that doesn't resonate with someone, they're dead inside. I mean, that it just, because we all want a better life. And it's not, we lose touch with people, not because we don't like them anymore, but life changes. Yeah, when you're in your early 20s, you're hanging out, going to happy hour with either friends from school or friends with work. Well, you finish school or you change jobs, so now those friends change as well. And then you either have a boyfriend or get married, and now it's their friends.
Right.
And then you start having kids, and it's the parent. Yeah, I know. Well, you're now friends with the parents of the other kids.
Well.
And it just changes, and it doesn't mean that we don't still care for that. I guarantee you run into somebody at the grocery store, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so happy to see you. Hug it. Oh my gosh, we're gonna get together. We're not gonna let this happen again. Next thing you know, it's 2 years later, and you're running into the store again, and it's all over again. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we let time go by. And but it's just a fact of life. And, you know, and you can kind of think about it, it's like, you know, they're in the same boat. They're not reaching out to us because their life changed and things happened. So, so it's, you know, it goes both ways. It's because we're not in their ambient environment and they're not in our ambient environment. You know, I mean, so when you think about your sphere, it probably is a lot bigger than you think, because you think about if you think of your life as a timeline, who was I hanging around during, you know, during those times? Now, granted, there's some folks you're like, yeah, I don't, it's perfectly fine that we don't connect. But anyway, so this you will send out to everybody. Now, Coach Lisa did send these pictures. This one's a little too Marilyn Monroe for me, so I'm like, yeah, I really do like this one. And I would just cut out the part that says the birthdayMessages.net. You can edit that out. And then on here where it says thank you so much, then you would put your, you know, love Chantal, love whatever. You would just do your little sign off. Now, you're going to send this out to everybody. Okay. So for the people that respond to you, you're going to call them. Now, let me just say this. This does not take the place of your CRM. This is to be used in conjunction with your CRM. The reason why is you're going to want to have your CRM open and you're going to want to take notes. Because when you call them, so the people that responded, you're going to call them and say, hey, I just want to say thanks for responding. This is a really important goal for me. I want to have a balanced life. I want to, you know, and I'm sorry, Facebook is not it. To underline that, I was having lunch with a friend of mine, Madeline, and we were talking about this and kind of like really fleshing it out. And you know, she's my sounding board, you know, because she's also a longtime agent. And I was telling her, because I was kind of looking around at the folks that were in Madeline, I'm like, bet you anything, if you go and ask every single person that's here, how many of your friends have a license? Everybody has a stinking license. 5, 7, I mean, 10, I mean, everybody has a license. Not everybody should have one. Anyway, that's a whole other story. Who of their 5 or 7 friends are they going to give their business, and more importantly, their referrals? Someone's repeat business, that's every 5, 7 years, whatever, unless they're leasers. But you know, it's few and far between, right? But they're good for 12 referrals a year, 24 referrals a year. You know, that's really what you want. You want to be so top of mind at any time anybody mentions, you know, buying or selling or moving, period. They're like, you need to call. You need to call Miranda. This is who you need to call. So my point in talking about that is they're going to send it to the person who's been in their ambient environment. Someone who's, and my big word is consistency, who has consistently been in their ambient environment. Now, they're not going to send it to the person, the friend, who the only interaction they get with them is they like their stuff on Facebook. That is not a relationship. Just letting y'all know. So that's why it's so important to be plugged in. But life is busy. I mean, unless you are purposeful and time block for this, it will not happen. Okay, so as you're talking to them, you're going to have the rehydration conversation. Thank you so much for responding. This is a really important goal for me. And I'm realizing as I was calling you, oh my gosh, I haven't talked to you in 2 years. I haven't, however long it is. You're going to start, how's your mom? How's, whatever. It is so important for you to put into the CRM in notes in their profile what they're telling you. Right. I was teaching this once, and one day she's like, oh my gosh, yes. She was making her calls, and she called an old friend. She's like, hey, how's your mom? And the friend, very irritated, was like, I told her she died the last time you called. Wow. Oh yeah. And Lauren, Lauren was, she was, I was mortified. She was, right. She basically was like, you don't have to call me again. This person now felt that they were just a check mark, that she wasn't really listening. And Lauren's like, I just didn't remember. I honestly didn't remember. And it's like, we are inundated with someone, you can't keep it all in your head. Now, even worse to that point, I can kind of get away with it because I'm old. And so, when you're like, it's like, I used to remember thinking my mother was like, oh my gosh, she's repeating herself. Like, oh my God, I'm there. But if you're telling them something about a milestone in your life, put it down so that next time you're talking to them, you're not repeating yourself.
Right.
Like I said, I can get by with it because my kids tell me all the time. Now, you're going to do the ones that called you. Now, for the ones who did not call you, you're going to call them. You're going to call them and say, hey, just want to make sure you got my email. This is, a really important personal goal for me.
Right.
And you're going to have that same rehydration conversation. And as I'm calling you, I'm realizing, holy cow, I haven't talked to you in 9 years. This is why I'm doing this. It's like, yeah, it's not like I don't care about you. I'm making time to have a personal life. The conversation is very naturally going to turn to business. They're going to ask you, how's business?
Right.
This is not the time for you to sell. These people are already on your industry centric campaign. They know what you do. They're seeing those things. They're seeing the market updates that you're sending. And so when they ask you how's business, you're going to be absolutely positive. You're going to keep it to 2 sentences. Love my work. The market's great. Whatever you want to say, and then you're going to turn around and say, how's business been for y'all? Honestly, they don't care what we do. And people want to be heard. Let them talk. Let them talk. And I'm going to throw something in new in this and to this part. Part of what I do in my job, in which I was saying for a while, for quite a while, I've been saying it's my favorite part of my job. And actually, I was like, okay, actually, no, this is my favorite part of life. That I talk to people and I listen to what they're saying, and I'm not kidding you, within 72 hours, I'll meet or talk to somebody else. They'll say something. I'm like, oh, you know what? Y'all need to talk. Y'all need to talk. So kind of just keep that in the back of your head as back of your mind as you're going through, because if you're listening to them, you can, they may tell you, it's like, oh yeah, well, I got into blah, 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 blah. And you're like, you know what? Tell me more about that. Because if I know somebody, I'll send them your way.
Right.
You're not asking them for a referral. You're offering to keep an eye out for them.
Right.
That's huge. That's huge. Sometimes it may be a side hustle. Hey, I'm doing this, but I'm doing this over here on the side. So it's just, it's being a giver is what it is. It really is. So you have that conversation. Again, you just real, very, very positive and very short on what you do, and then turn it back to them. Now, you need to give yourself a deadline on this, like literally like 2 weeks. I don't care how many people are in your database. The reason is, if you don't give yourself a hard deadline, you'll find all of a sudden, okay, I'm done. Well, it was been 6 months since you started. And now you're kind of back at square one, because that first one's like, I thought you were going to keep up. I hear nothing. So you want to make sure you give yourself a deadline. Okay. Now, okay, so I am going to say this part too. Let's see. Let me move you over. La, 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 la. Move you over here. Now, you said you're going to do a birthday. You're asking about their birthdays. So you're going to do a birthday book. Okay. Now, I actually do think it's better to have a physical copy of this for you. So, I mean, you're spending $150 on a binder. You're going to get, you're going to do the tabs January through December. You're going to put on your calendar. So again, Michael, I also teach time management. So if you need that. Oh my goodness. We may have to stop class. The baby's here. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Hey, that was good to see you too. Even better to see the baby. It's once you have kids, nobody wants to talk to you at all. Like they're like, it's all about the baby. Is she sleeping? Okay, okay. So in your on your calendar, on the third week of every month, you're gonna time block birthday campaign. And what you're gonna do, and so say it's the third week of July, you look forward to August. And then you're gonna, and this is in the third week of July, you're going to write birthday cards for everybody. These are personal birthday cards. Your business card does not go in there. It's not like a pre-printed, happy birthday from all of us. It's a personal one. You're gonna do all of them. It's gonna be hand stamped, handwritten, hand addressed. And I would just put them in batches of these go out on this date, these go out on this date. It's okay that you actually do want them to go out a few days early, for them to get it a few days early. You're gonna stand out number one because it's real mail. You're gonna also trigger all those feel-good dopamine because it's like, oh yeah, my birthday's coming up. I feel good. And people, I don't care how old you are, it's like before my birthday comes up, like, oh yeah, I'm special. So you're gonna send that for clients who have, for clients who are really good for referrals. If you want, you can put in a $5 gift card to Starbucks. I wouldn't, establish a precedent of sending of large gift cards. And there was somebody, and I was like, wow, there's all kinds. I met a guy who was in our office. He was there first time. He just started complaining about this lender because he's like, I'm never sending him another referral. I've sent him, I don't know, 7 or 10 referrals over the years, and all I got was a $5 gift card. I'm like, okay, you're just one of those really little people, just little Grinch heart. But I was like, I guess there are people out there that I can't imagine anybody would be offended. So I thought about it, and I was like, okay, all right, to make sure no one's offended, you could put something in the card like, this is me buying you a birthday cake pop at Starbucks, smiley face, so it's, it makes it sweet, connected, so it's not like it's just thrown in there. But I was just flabbergasted. I'm like, really? You're gonna complain about someone giving you a gift card? Okie dokie. You be you. You be you. Okay, so you're doing you are doing that. Okay, so let me get on to my next. And I'm gonna get you out of here. Okay, so once you're done with the rehydration, this is where you segue into the maintenance part. This is where,
Are you talking about this?
Not right
yeah,
now.
no, not right now, not yet. I'm about to change it. But this is the beautiful part of it, truly, because rehydrating and avoiding that awkward, hey, I'm not borrowing money, I'm just gonna say hi, yeah, whatever. What this accomplishes here, it truly accomplishes 2 things. It tells them why you're reaching out after all this time, legitimately so. And it's also giving them a heads up that you're gonna stay connected, okay? So this is just again, for show and tell purposes.
Now they can see it.
Right. Oh, okay. Let's see. Why not? Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I see. What?
Oh, you talking about?
No, you want email. Is it there's a method to the madness. There is a method to the madness. So let's see. Here we go. So yeah, it moved it. Here we go. Can you still see it? Yeah, there you go. So you are going to take your entire sphere and you're going to divide it into 5 equal parts. So, and the various parts are going to be, one's going to be email, text, a phone call, a private Facebook message, which she calls Kim, which is a keep in mind. And that allows you to be creative. It can be a video message, it can be a pop-by, it can be a card in the mail, it could be a get-together. And I do want to address get-togethers, just again, I'm having this existential obsession with time and how we spend it. I know a lot of agents that'll do the client appreciation party, and it's okay to do like a big party like once a year, but throughout the year, at those big parties, you are not getting true connection as you're flitting amongst all these people, spending 3 minutes here, 3 minutes there, 3 minutes there. That's it's fun and it's great, but to get true connections for them to really bond with you, I absolutely advocate the much smaller, into a smaller, get together that's not billed as a work event, because those appreciation work, that's definitely that's because I'm a realtor. I want business. That is a standalone. I absolutely recommend doing get-togethers that are very small. The most would be 6. That's including you. I would keep it to 4. Maybe 4 friends and you. But it's just it's much better you get a much better rapport, much more substantive connection in that time, where you can have this one get-together and not do another get-together for maybe a couple of months, 2 or 3 months. And that's what you accomplish in that one get-together carries you until the next time. And we're all busy. We don't have time to get together. Right? It's not when we're doing this. I'm not trying to get you another 200 BFFs where you have to be all up in each other's business every week. No, you have friends that you call, like my best friend since we were 17. We'll talk like every month and a half, and it's as if I talked to her yesterday. And it's those kind of deep connections is what we're looking for. So let me just share and pull this one up. Hold on. Okay. So you're going to take your entire sphere and you're going to break it into 5 even parts. So that you had 125, it's going to be 25 in each one of these. So this is group 1. There's a group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5. Again, for the same class. So every time you prospect, you're going to do a certain number in each group, all on the same day. You can't do group 1 and 2 on Monday, and I'll get to group 3, 4, and 5 on Thursday or Friday. It has to be done on the same day, because what you're doing is you are going to be finishing each section at the same time. So Coach Lisa was like, well, they're going to do 5 in each section. I'm like, that's okay. That's 25 touches every time they prospect in a day. And every agent I talk to, they're like, hell no, I'm not doing that many. Pick whatever number you're comfortable with. Some people are okay with 2, because then you're doing 10 touches every time you prospect. So you can see. So if I did 2 people here, that's an email. So then, okay, so that, I'm time blocking. This is one of my prospecting times. Then I go to the next session. I'm going to do those 2 people there. This one is a text. When I finish those texts, I'm going to go to the next one. These 2 people are going to get a call, and so on and so on. And because I'm doing the same number in each section, every time I prospect, I'm going down until I finish. Once I finish, then they rotate. So the people that were in the last group, they get moved to the first, and you move everybody down. The beauty of this is that every time you reach out to somebody, it's in a different way at a different time. So are y'all familiar with core training?
I am.
Okay.
Ruben,
I'm sorry?
his name's Rick.
No, core training, not the real estate group. Yeah, no, core training. A lot of lenders use it. They are the Nazis of prospecting, like truly. And it's perfectly fine. You have to have structure and know this is when you're doing it. The problem is it is a business to business kind of model, which you would think that lender to real estate is business to business. But what the lenders forget is that realtors they live in a relationship-based industry. So as realtors, we don't respond well to that. So I was at a brokerage talking to a friend of mine in the lobby, and her phone rings, and I see that it's Mike. He's, and I know the guy. He not only uses it, but he teaches it. And and I'm not exaggerating, she basically, her head went back, and she's like, oh my God, it's Tuesday at 3:30 and it's Mike calling with his update. And it was so harsh. I was like, I so badly wanted to say, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, which you should be doing, and I know you're not. And I remember because he taught the class in my office once. And so, we would provide the space. So I'm in the back, I've done my spiel. He's teaching the class in the back, working on my computer, but I'm listening to him. And he was talking about how everybody in his office knows Tuesday afternoons, that's when he makes calls, and he goes down, he's got the same list. And I get what he's trying to say. You're creating expectations for your targets. Like, I'm going to be reaching out, which is great and fine. The problem was it backfired. He was so predictable that he was no longer seen as valuable or even entertaining. And she's like, I never take a call. And I remember sitting in that class, and I'm in the back, and I'm hearing him talking. He's like, it's okay if you get their voicemail. It's still a touch. And I remember thinking, I'm like, I don't want a relationship with someone's voicemail. I don't. And so to me, that was just like, that class happened before that happened with this agent. And it just hit me at that time, like, this is bad. This is not good. If it was a paper company talking to a printing company, then yes, that model would work. But you're not. You're talking to an individual, a friend, a past client who's become a friend. So that's why this truly, truly is magic. You want to make sure that you are in there. So Michael, I do teach time management, and I am the poster child for that, because I said I have this very surreal fascination, obsession, and almost existential obsession with time, because it affects everything. We all get the same amount. I always tell people, it's like, I can always make more money. I cannot make more time.
Right.
And that's, especially once you start having kids, it's, because I've talked to people who are like, hey, I can't time block, I got kids. I'm like, all the more reason you need to time block, because you have a very finite amount of time to spend on work. So you need to make sure you're getting the absolute most out of it. And it's possible. It is possible. But so it can be a little daunting. And I was talking to my coach, and I thought I did have this epiphany, because and she's actually written a book on the whole time management thing. So if you ever want me to do a class for them, I'll bring you a copy of the book.
Yes, take on.
Yeah, I'll bring you a copy of the book. But it's the acceptance of that it is a daily practice. It is, because I've read books, got coaching on it, and thinking about it all the time. And she's like, no one's going to hand you a spiral notebook. It's like, okay, I got time mastered now. I've got a spiral notebook. And it's so easy to fall off the wagon, and just, it is my biggest, it's like I said, it's an obsession. It is I've had, and all my epiphanies do happen in the shower, by the way. And do what?
Okay.
It is, because I'll talk to my cousin, like, oh my God, I was in the shower. I'm like, oh my God, I realized this. And one of the things one of my epiphanies was prioritize. We all have a lot of stuff to do. And it's what is the important and what is the urgent. And it's I'm telling you, I'm going to end up, y'all are going to visit me in the old folks home, and I'll be just mumbling in the corner about time. So, do you have any questions? You sure? This part is what people kind of get confused on mostly. It's like, how does it rotate? They're like, okay, I'm doing what? I'm doing what? So
How much a day do you feel like people would spend daily implementing something like this?
So the getting started part is the hard. Actually, you know what the hardest part is? Getting your sphere into Excel, because it is tedious. It's just like inputting it into your CRM. It's a pain in the rear. My advice to you is if you have, parts of it here, parts of it over here, parts of it's over here, hire a high school kid. But I'm not kidding. Because all it is data entry. It is putting in the name, email address, their written address into this and their phone number. Hire a high school kid. It comes down, what is the best use of your time? That's so if, yeah, I was gonna say, if anybody,
So when you did your email, text, phone call, the first two people that were on your email
mhm.
are not gonna be, are the first two people that's on your text, and like how did,
So-
when you showed it?
Yeah, so how that's gonna work is, so when I call these two people here, and then I'm gonna go to the next two people, these are all phone calls.
So the
And
next
then
tab,
on the next tab, it's whatever,
is the same people?
no, these are different people. So that's what I'm saying. You're gonna take your entire sphere, and it doesn't have to be in any kind of order. This is not, oh, these are my super hot, super, my warmly. This is not that. And in this part, this is, and don't hit me.
Okay, I'll try.
This is, you do not ask for business here.
Right.
You're already, I know, you're already doing that with your industry centric and in your Facebook. Because like I said before, how many times are you going to take a call from somebody if the only time they call you is to ask for business? That's his part. So because you are constantly talking to them, and really, how often you touch this, this first person, Don Smith, how often you touch him again? You're going to touch him again once you've finished everything and you rotate, because now he's in the next slot. So every time I call John, it's going to, every time I touch John, it's going to be a phone call this time. 3 to 4 weeks later, it's going to be an email. 3 to 4 weeks later, it's going to be a text. So you're contacting him in a different way every time.
With random, so
It's
you just
random
did
for
a,
them. That's what.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I just did a what?
So you just did all of your list, and then you just said, I'm putting this in email, I'm putting this in phone, I'm putting this.
Yeah, you
in text.
just take
You just
the-
did it random.
Yeah, you just do it random. But that's the beauty of it, because it is systematic for you as the sender, so no one ever falls through the cracks again, but it's not predictable for them. And this part, you don't have to be profound and any of those things. Because you're not sending a market update. All that's being done on the industry centric part of it. This is, this is you talking to someone that you've become friends with. All you're doing is sending them a text that's a meme of a red baboon butts. I thought it's just like, it's something dumb or stupid. Or there's a lot of, I guess it's kind of the, cross marketing. On your Facebook, like I said, 70% personal, 25% work, which would be open houses, super happy with, help with family, whatever. And then there's the community part. There was, through Coach Lisa, she had this, an agent out in California was talking, and he was talking about, he interviews like different restaurant owners or little sandwich shops and things like that. He goes in and he videos it. And real estate is still in the room, which I love, but he's holding up and highlighting someone else. And you're then not, you are seen as someone who promotes those around them, small businesses, informative, new place to eat. You become that resource. But it still shows Deion Collier, Realtor. It's still, real estate is still in the room. One of my friends, she posted a few years ago, it was a really hot summer, just like now. She had like 7 bottles, you know, like the insulated bottles of water. And she was like, ice cold water and ready to show 14 houses in 104-degree weather. And I loved it because it was all this engagement about how freaking hot it was. But real estate was in the room. I'm an active agent, and this is how many houses I'm showing. So there is a way to keep real estate in the room and still engage others in a way that's entertaining. So what I was talking about with interviewing, like, you know, a new place to eat, or even just even an old place that you know, it's the hidden gem where it has the best, you know, whatever. So then when you email, you know, one of your friends when it's their turn, hey, you know, did you see the post that I put on such and such, you know, place? That's Po' Boys, whatever.
Right.
If you find one, let me know. Love Po' Boys, as you can see. It's like, we should go. We should get together and go, or a coffee or a cocktail or whatever. And so, because everybody is busy, so say, looking for a mouse, I don't have a mouse. So you see here where it says Facebook and calls and emails and texts. So whenever you're calling them, you're going to put the date here when you, whatever that touch was. So if it was Facebook, I'm going to put that date here. If it was calls here. And just on a side note, if you get voicemail, again, I don't want a relationship with a voicemail. You can put the date and just put VM here and ask them to call you back. You know, so anyway, I'm really bad about Bird. Sorry. So you could send the email and say, you know, hey, let's get together. You know, I interviewed this guy. Their bread's amazing. It's all about the bread. So you called him, you know, or emailed him on this date, and your keep in mind is going to be over here, like say maybe 2 or 3 weeks out. It gives you time to plan, and so then that counts as your get together there for when he's in that space. And this is what I was talking about when you're doing get-togethers that they're small. It could be like the group that you used to work with, or just the girls you used to hang out with, or the poker group that you had, or whatever it is, and kind of get everyone together for that, and they'll love you for it. I mean, it's wonderful when you don't want to wait till you run into somebody at the grocery store, kind of thing. But I would keep it small, and it's nicer on your pocketbook because it is not a work event. You're not treating everybody and everybody's doing their own. It is a honest to goodness friends, you know, reconnecting. So I was telling one of my friends, like, shoot, even if you didn't do a stitch of business ever, didn't, you know, like, I don't want to practice anymore, you'd still have a better life because you're staying connected to the people that you care about. Any questions? If anybody does, feel free to send my number out. I can, you know, like I said, I'm still wired like an old agent. You know, I answer my phone in the evenings, on the weekends, because that's when you think of stuff. Or let's see. Yeah. You're welcome. But okay, so I will tell you though, and I mean this with all sincerity. You can lie to me and say, "Oh, yeah, I'm ready to do this." You can lie to me. You can lie to Michael. Lie to Shay. Do not lie to yourself. And what I mean by that is, do not start this until you are ready to commit and actually do it and follow through. You've got one chance. You can't do this and say, hey, you know, I want to reconnect, I want a better quality of life, and then do it for like a month or two, and then, you know, they don't hear anything from you for however long. And then a year later, like, hey, I want to reconnect, I want to have a better quality of life. They're like, yeah, whatever. So, I mean, you just have to, it's it's like dieting, they say, you know, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. But it is the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I mean, it's, so I'm gonna send everything to everybody. You're gonna have all the templates, all the instructions, everything. I'll send the pictures just so you have a visual as well. And I'm even gonna send you the page with the lines, you know, numbered for you to put into the birthday book. So that you have all of that. And
I
it's,
assume those are the dates, not like.
yes, yeah,
Okay.
once you get like, yeah, 30 days, 30, 31. Another thing, it's about, and again, this falls into part, you know, it is part of time management, but it's about being prepared. You want to make sure that you have supplies on hand. Order your cards online because you can order them in bulk, and then again, they're make sure they're personal cards, they're not industry cards. You'll pay $1.69 as opposed to $5 and $6 at Walgreens. That's ridiculous. So order them online so that you have them. It's going to be a real stamp. You're going to sign your name. You're going to hand address. And the reason I really, really emphasize this is because time block's going to pop up on your calendar and be like, oh crap, I don't have any stamps. I can't go now. I'll do this later. And before you know it, like literally before you know it, it'll be gone. If you don't do it at that time, it's not going to get done. So you just want to make sure that, I mean, I'm very big on, like, I'm not a prepper, but sometimes I think I'm close. But it's, you know, as soon as I pop the top on my backup toothpaste, I'm already online, you know, ordering the next one because we're always going to have, you know, as soon as you use backup, you start using backup, that's when you order the new backup. It's the same thing with this. It's just, what was it? When you talk about being prepared, and again, this kind of leaks into the time management, but you're preparing, you know, so that you're not scrambling later. You know, it's just, you shouldn't be throwing a listing presentation together, you know, 2 hours before you're going to your listing, that kind of thing. So it's all about making sure that you have ready posture, which I don't know if y'all ever read the book, Impact Player, she talked about that. And it's that ready posture. It's like, put me in a game coach. I've got my helmet on, I'm ready to go. I'm not scrambling looking for my helmet.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, stay ready. Yeah, exactly. So it's like and it's about being organized mentally. It's about being organized in our paperwork. It's being organized with our supplies so that we're not like literally like scrambling.
Right.
Yeah. My kids laugh at me, and I finally sent them a meme, and it was Samuel Jackson. He's like, you call it obsessive compulsive. I call it putting it back where it belongs.
Right.
It's like, but yeah, because I hate looking for stuff. Right. Because it's like I waste time. Yeah, soulmate, right? Yeah. Just put it back. Yeah. Yeah, to find. Yeah, exactly. That's where it lives. Everything has a place to live. Do you have any questions on anything?
No.
I know stuff. I know people that know more than I do. So yeah, it's even better.
Well, maybe a new life. I'm still learning, so really, I'm just taking it all.
And that's one thing I will warn y'all. I will fire hose you if you let me. You got to tell me, because I get really excited. I'm like, oh, there's this, and oh my God, there's this, and there's this, and there's this. And Dion knows, because I've slept with her, and she's like, oh my God, like it's.
Yeah, and this is right on time, because I need to get back on it. She went through this with me about probably 4 or 5 years ago. It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. And but like you said, like I want to restart this. A few weeks back, I went to the store, post office, and got stamps. Just getting all the things that I need, because like you said, if you don't have everything, you'll put it off. And that's kind of like what I did. Oh, I don't have stamps, so I don't have this.
Yeah.
But this time around that I'm doing it, I'm going to be prepared. I have a question. Because I know I put mine off for like years. Because it's so easy for me to just
Yeah.
So when you start this, you start off with a phone call?
No, so that was in the first part, and I'll send that to you as well. It's an email that goes out that rehydrates the entire sphere.
Okay, so.
And
And so I don't want to recap everything. So in the template, it's going to tell you in a couple of weeks or in 3 weeks, in a month, whatever, do this. The next time it touches this.
so that's what this does. So the rehydration part is an email that you send out that rehydrates your entire list and tells them why you're reaching out to them and gives them a heads up that you're going to be reaching out to them on a regular basis. But it's a very authentic, this is not where you ask for business. This is what I was talking about. Yeah, don't throw anything at me.
Right.
But
No way out.
yeah.
And
But
the
it's,
time-
so the time frame is yours.
Oh,
So it is, I mean, if you've got 100 people in each segment, then you better be doing more than 2 at a time. You want to be able to finish, you want to be finishing each time that you're doing it, you want to be finishing it really no more than 4 weeks, like 3 to 4 weeks.
That's my question, really.
Yeah, 3 to 4 weeks. So
Before you send out the next.
and that means you have finished that. You've already touched everybody. Don't hop around. Don't do that. It's like, I don't want to call. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I know because still, let me go ahead and talk.
Yeah. But it's, and that's not to say that if something comes up that you would still reach out and call them. But it's making sure that no one falls through the cracks, because the danger is not that you're going to call someone too often, is that you're not going to call them at all. And I tell people all the time, and you can actually use this for new prospects. Like if you're doing open houses or you've got, just prospects, someone that, someone sent you a referral, whatever it is, you can put them in this. You're obviously not going to do a hydration, but this makes sure that you're at least reaching out to them, however fast you want to reach out to them. But it puts them on a list to where, the problem is, I tell people all the time, if you call somebody and you don't call them again for 6 months, you might as well never have called them to begin with. And that's what happens. And we get busy, and that's why this is so important, that you have to time block prospecting every day. And if you're not doing it every day, at least 3 times a week, at least.
Every day.
I was gonna say every day.
You're
Yeah.
not even getting them out. Every day you need to get doing.
Every day. Well, so I'm with him every day, and this is a hard spot for me. I'm title. I want you to like me. I want you to send me stuff. And the problem with this kind of stuff is like, you kind of be hard on people. I'm like, you need to be doing this every day.
They ain't gotta like me.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, they don't have to like you, but it truly is. It's like, and I don't mean any offense by this. I can say this because I am this. Real estate, because of its lack of accountability and structure, attracts people who need it the most. That is, I have seen it over and over again. I've lived it. And because of that, it's like, and it is something that I think I've struggled with my whole life. I remember, my husband telling me, he's like, I know why you're late all the time. He goes, because you think that you can fit 6 things into what you really can only do 2. And he wasn't trying to be ugly. And I was like, you're right. So I have to look at things again realistically about how long it's actually going to take. Even tiny, simple things. I noticed, I was like, I'm time blocking, but I'm running 5 minutes late every time. What's up with that? And it dawned on me, from the time it was taking me, if I'm leaving my office, it was taking me to leave my office and actually drive out of the parking lot. It was 5 minutes. And I wasn't building that in. And so therefore I was 5 minutes late to everything. It's just weird things like that. It's just, you have to become aware and know yourself and be aware of and things happen. And that's something I still struggle with right now. I don't build in buffer. And you really should. But again, there's a lot that we could talk about on the time management side. So Shay, whenever you want to do that, you just let me know.
So you're saying with this system, I should be able to go through my entire database in a month? Like, I mean, I'm saying, however big that is.
Yep.
The idea is once a month, you're touching everybody in your neighborhood.
Yeah, so I really do think it should be no more than 4 weeks for you to go through your entire database. So if, like I said, if you're doing like, 5 people here, and that's what I was telling you is so important. When they're prospecting, they have to do all 5 at the same sit down time that you're prospecting. So if I do 5 here, and then I do 5 here and go all the way through, and then I drop down. So however long it takes me to do, divided by days, however long I would take your database, the number, divide it by the number of days that you have in that month. I don't know if you're only going to be prospecting on work days on, Monday through Friday, divided by 5, that's how many people you need to touch every day. So that tells you, that way you stay on track.
But now
And-
you're also gonna be adding people to this list, though, right?
So this is your friends, your family, your past clients. And so, yeah, I mean, we make new friends every day. But I was saying that they can actually do a whole book of this, a separate book. It's just the prospects, the new prospects that they're picking up because they've met someone at,
Well,
you
have a different.
have a different set of books. Just because these are newer people. These are people that I don't have the same relationship that I have with this. And because it's a prospect at a, from an open house, you're going to have a different kind of interaction with them. I wouldn't be sending the baboon text quite yet. Get them to, but I mean, some of the stuff my friends and I send each other, it's just, yeah. But it's funny, and that's the thing, and I always, and I repeat this, people hear me say this all the time, but it is so true. It's what the Maya Angelou quote: people won't remember what you say, they won't remember what you do, they will always remember how you make them feel. And I have friends like that I find myself, I'll talk to them and I'm in my car leaving, and I'm just smiling because they make me feel so good. You feel joy coming out of them, and just, yeah, they're just good to be around. So that's what we should be in our friends' lives. We should be that source of, you never know, people, most people don't walk around going, oh yeah, I'm happy today. But it's nice when you get this little flip of just some, just a little bit of humor in your day.
Right.
Yeah, same here. But so what else do you need? She knows.
Should we start?
Hmm?
Should we start calling or touching these people at a certain time in the morning?
Know your audience.
If you
Yeah.
call, should it be 10 o'clock in the morning or 11 or before 9 o'clock?
It just depends. It depends. Know your audience. Say one of your friends is a school teacher.
Mm-hmm.
You may know that, she's in class. So you may want to, and I am all about putting reminders in your phone, setting, if you know that, so you've set your prospecting time from 9 to 10, say, or 9 to 11, whatever it is, but you know that person is not going to be available.
Okay.
I would time block 15 minutes in your phone, later in that afternoon, so that you know that you need to go and call her that same day, so that she's still taken care of on that same day. Hey.
Okay, great.
But yeah, just, I mean, you know your audience. And like I mentioned earlier, if you do get voicemail, I would send them a text and ask them to call you back, because you still want to, you don't want the relationship with their voicemail.
Mm-hmm. Should you prioritize friends that live in this particular area, or we're doing this for friends and relatives that live out of state as well?
I would still do it with out of state folks as well, because those are referrals.
Okay.
So I would definitely still do that.
Okay.
Yeah, it is all about the referral. It truly is. Like I mentioned earlier, someone's business could, as far as their repeat business, 5 to 7 years, that's a lot of bills in the interim. But they're good. They can be good for a referral a month. That's 12 referrals. They could be good for 2. And it's kind of like the old Brett commercial. You want that to keep multiplying and multiplying. And as the people, the prospects, as those kind of reach the point where, okay, yeah, now we really do have a good relationship, you can move them over to this one.
So maybe it'd be smart, maybe once a quarter, do like a transition.
Yeah, review, and because how, if it's closed business, especially if it's closed business, I would move them over. Because that, and you've heard it over and over again. They closed our house and never heard from them again. Yeah. And it's just, and you do kind of feel like the girlfriend that got dumped. It's like, we were doing so well, and you never called me. Yeah, you never called back. But anyway, there's a lot more where this came from. Do y'all use Breakthrough Broker?
Nope. What's that?
Oh. Yeah, I've got Dion on it.
Oh, you got the center?
Yeah.
So-
Dion turned it on.
So Deion turned it back. So it's moving around.
Okay.
Like about.
So it is, let me show you. Hold on. So it's a website that I will give y'all access to, so it's free to y'all. It is the bee's knees. She uses it all the time, so it's funny because it sends me a report with that, and it's like she's got like the most beautiful picture. It's like, I love her picture. That white suit's so beautiful. Okay, let's see. I gotta share this. Share screen. Let's see.
I also want to say Fidelity Title is great. I had spoken with them last month, and they take very good care of my client. It's always very smooth. Patient and the offer.
Here we go.
There's Galleria.
So we're at the corner of St. Felipe in the Loop, but I can close you at any office. I also do remote closings when you need it. So as long as it's me, it's part of my service. There's no additional charge for a notary. I have closed people in hospitals. I actually walked into a COVID wing by accident, believe it or not. It was literally, you imagine places that you would never be caught dead in, and then all of a sudden you turn around like, how did I get here? It was that. It literally was like the COVID wing. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm not lying. It was awful. But I have closed in hospital rooms and board rooms and people's offices and their home, bedside, in the parking lot of a food town. It's whatever. I've done super fancy, and we've done just, it's what's best for the client.
Right.
Yeah, what works for them. So I am not proud. Let me move this down. So Breakthrough Broker, it is a website created by realtors. So Eric and Nathan were these agents up in Colorado. They sold their brokerage for like $1 gazillion. And I think Realist bought it, Realgy bought it, and they were, and then he said they offered, it's like, we want you to manage like 60,000 agents. He's like, yeah, that does not sound like fun. No, thank you. So he said, literally, they were sitting in a bar, listening to Pandora, trying to decide, well, what are we going to do next? We sold this, what are we going to do? And they said, we want to do what Pandora does. We want to provide services for the agents, but have vendors like Title pay for it, and they can give it to their clients. Everything on here is free.
Everything.
Yeah, pretty much. I think there's like a BB Plus you may have to pay for, but I don't even think you even need to go there. Yeah.
Everything that's free is everything you need.
But so, and you can brand it to yourself. So you're branding it to yourself. You can put your colors in. It has your company, your contact information. It's all branded to you. So you can do flyers, brochures, postcard, door hangers, open house items, social media graphics, listing and buyer presentations. You can do a single property website on this. Let's see here. On social media, it teaches you how to use social media better. It has listing posts, event posts, engagement. It's templates. Also, you're not reinventing the wheel. You're just putting your information in. There are tutorials and how-tos. They have blog content. There is, okay, this is one y'all will love, hate, business planning. It takes you through business planning completely. It allows you to put in, this is what it costs you to live. This is what my rent is. This is what my groceries are, gas, car payment, all the stuff that's your, what you're responsible every month. And then it takes in, what does it cost you to run your business? So it takes in, what is your, what's your cut with your broker? Like, what is, all these things that cost you. Okay, so based on that, you need to make at least X. Or if you want to make more, you put in. So it's always start with the end in mind. So if you need to make, 150,000 or whatever, at the end, that means, based on your cut, this is how many closings you need. This is what your revenue is. This is, so based on how many closings you need, are you a buyer's agent? Are you a listing agent? And tells you, okay, you need this many listings, this many buyers. If you need this many listings closed, that means you need this many, because not everybody closes, a listing. You have an attrition rate, but it backs it down to even how many listing appointments you need to make to get to that number. And from there, it breaks it down to, this is how many calls we need to be making a day. And it's telling you every day. It also has real estate accounting on here, which you or your CPA will love you. I love that because you actually can look and see, geez, I'm paying what for that? And I get no business out of that. You really see what your ROI is, and you can eliminate. I love it. I was reading this thing that I was talking about revenue leaks. That's where you find them, and you start eliminating. It has lead generation as well. So I'm working with Foros Advertising, tech tips on your for video photography. So this I love. Inspire. They have expert interviews. So they do like 3 and 5 minute interviews with top agents across the country. This is what was a pivot for me. This is what worked for me. You can cherry pick what worked for you. It's just best practices here. Let me show you something. I love the checklists. Yeah. So this is your home showing checklist, listing prospect checklist, managing your listing prospect. This is again, and you can add to these. This is again making sure that nothing falls through the cracks. As far as your client's concerned, they see you as uber professional. You took care of everything, and everything is done ahead of time. So open house checklist. It's just, and your kind of just filler checklist for you. It even has an assistant checklist down here. So if you need ideas for prospecting, 105 powerful prospecting activities. So yeah, it's just awesome. Awesome. Yeah, let me know who all wants to be on, and I'll give them access.
Tell them to put their emails. Okay.
If they want to email me directly, because I'm not going to have this chat list. I'm not going to get their emails on here.
Oh, we'll get them.
Oh, you'll get them? Okay, you'll send them to me. Okay, awesome. But
And they can still email you directly.
yeah. Text me, email me. Yeah.
This ain't the last time we're gonna be seeing.
So you're okay with this? You like this? Awesome. Yeah.
We like to provide resources, tools, strategies. They tired of hearing me.
Yeah.
You need somebody else.
Yeah. Well, and it also helps when you hear the same thing from two. And we did not talk before this, just so y'all know, we did not talk. But it's kind of like you can tell your kids something, and then or my husband, and they hear from somebody else, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is such a great idea! Did you not know about that?" I'm like, "I just said that. like one specific day for years, I was trying to get my husband to get a generator. This was like before Ike, a long time ago. He wouldn't do it, wouldn't do it. One day he literally came out and was like, you know, I was talking to Chris at work. And he says we should get a generator. I think that's a great idea. And I'm like,
Idea.
and I'm like, I didn't say a word. I'm like, as long as I'm getting a generator. Yeah, I'm like, I knew to shut up. But I was like, in my head, I'm like, are you kidding me? I've been telling you for years, we need a generator. But it just cracks me up.
Better one was enough. I would have let it out. Boy, I've been.
I'm like, I'll say it after the generator's here.
Yeah.
Like, but I was just like, and then I'm like, I'm looking at him like, okay, yay. So, what else do y'all need? I mean, what do you feel that y'all need?
My personal opinion, Chantel, is 18 years man in the business. I feel like 50 do 80. A lot of them come in over 20.
Mhm.
They're in their own way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, I do advocate being prepared, but you can't let that stop you. You give yourself, if you, that's really that important, give yourself a deadline. Like, and I'm talking like a week, 3 days, whatever it is that you're focused, that you think that you need to do to get prepared, you need to do it quickly. Otherwise, it's going to be 3 years from now, like I'm still getting ready. And you can't do that. You'll starve to death, you know. One of the things that, you know, and don't pigeonhole yourself. There's a lot of folks that I talked about, I'm gonna be a luxury agent. That's what I'm gonna be. I'm like, well, okay. Number one, it's a smaller buyer pool, just saying, and you know, but if you've got people around you that's what they want, then great. But diversify your business. Absolutely diversify your business. I actually did that personally several years ago. I guess it's probably been about 3 or 4 years. You know, because my business had been mostly agents, your traditional, you know, resale agents. And thank goodness that I did do it. But now I work with a lot of investors. I work with a lot of developers. I work with a lot of builders. I work with a lot of lenders. And the whole reason for me telling you this is no matter what the market is doing, you will have a client for that market. And that's the key. So, and use me as a resource. There, you know, I've got, so, you know, I tell everybody, okay, you know, work with investors. And that is grown so much over the last few years. And so I get agents that are like, yeah, okay, I'm working with investors. I'm like, great, where are you getting your off-market properties? They're like, or where are you getting your properties? They're like, MLS. And I'm like, no, like, no, there's no margin left there. That's the value that you bring, is finding off-market properties. Call me, let me know if you're looking at it. I have a great connection. I actually have several connections for off-market properties. Some of my investors, I actually put them together and they do business between the two of them. So yeah, just let me know. If you want to get in with builders, find the land. That is what they need. And it's, again, it's that ready posture. So you can find them the land. It's like, oh, I found you the land. I can also find you the money. Because you have me, I can connect you to the money. I have private lenders, which I only would ever really use if there is no other option. There's some builders who don't have the history and resume that a bank will approve them for a construction loan. So then yes, they're working with private lenders. But find out, it's like, so how long have you been building? 10 years. It's like, well, he still thinks he can't qualify for traditional construction loan because he'd been turned down before. It's like, well, now he's got the history. And now I can connect you, you know, I connect you with private lenders, but now I can connect you with banks who, and each bank, it's different. It's like what their needs are at that time. So sometimes, like, you know, we don't want lot loans now. 3 months later, yeah, we want some lot loans. But I can connect you for lot loans, construction loans, and it's working with lenders. I have one particular lender who, and this is key for right now, because interest rates are going up, right? there is a lender, and this is offered to the developer, to the builder or developer, that the people that the buyers who are buying, they can get a year lock. And it's a year lock that's the same price as a 30-day lock. And they're credited at closing. There's no downside for the buyer. You're locking in your rate before they hike up. So, I mean, who knows what they're going to be in November, or December, or even next year. But as long as they build and close within that year, they keep that rate. I told Son, I was like, you should be shouting this from the rooftops. It's like, so yeah, there's a will, there's a way. But,
So they do construction supply.
Mhm. Yep.
They lock the wall.
they lock the loan. So this is not the construction. This is for the buyer. So say the property is not even, built yet. But you've got a buyer that's going to want to move into that place. So they're locking in their purchase. So the builder has his own construction loan, but he's going to sell it to them. Yeah. But it's, one of my developers, I was introduced to him, we started working together, and then I started asking questions about his business. He'd been building for 12 years. He'd been using a private lender that whole time at 10%. This was probably about a year and a half ago. And I was like, you're doing what? And introduced him to my friend Shano, and she got it. I mean, it was like half, 5% for construction loan then. And it was like his margin was like, doubled. Yay. But he's so good. So what else do you need? So with brand new agents, like I was telling Miranda, I can teach them how to read the commitment, how to read the survey, how to read a closing disclosure. It's all the things about being comfortable in their own skin. I can do a mock closing with them, so I show them the documents that do it. Yeah. So yeah, it comes on. But sometimes people feel like they're nervous about going in. I mean, and this is literally like, if we did all that, it's like an hour and a half. We can come that way. They feel more confident when they're talking to their clients. But if they want to get more business, they need to do this. This is what they need to get on. This is what they need to get on. If you want us to do like a Facebook, just social media class for that middle layer, we can do that as well. And then of course the industry centric stuff, those are your campaigns, the drips that y'all are already doing that. There's all different kinds of things as far as, I don't know if you're doing geographic farming.
So Dion is actually our head of agent development.
Mhm.
So I think that would be great.
Yeah.
As far as,
You just tell me what you need.
and getting the resources and the information
Yeah.
to the agents as well as the real estate students.
Yeah.
That'd be good content for them as well as they get familiar with this new career they're getting in.
So I'm happy to come do it here. We were talking about earlier, I do like an after hours training at my house. We order pizza and sit on the couch and I put it on the TV and we just do whatever for people that are dual career and can't come during the day. So you just let me know. That page, she's like, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure.
Look, wow, thank you. I have a smile. It's like one of Men in Black.
Are you dilated?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's never fun. Oh my God. Okay, I'm leaving before you leave.
Oh, you walked in.
I thought she came with you. Like, no. So you drove here? Oh my God. Yeah. That is the truth. That is the truth. And again, one last show. If anybody know anybody single? No.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I do grandbabies. This one's 30. He's single and available. This one's too young, really. So this one here.
Come on with it. The one with all the
There-
hands.
Oh, yeah. They're doing their most interesting man in the world pose. But they're,
He's 30.
he's 30. I make excellent in-laws, just saying. Yeah,
Mom's made up the kids.
they would be mortified if they knew we were doing this. But yeah, how I tell people all the time. Like, oh, yeah, I don't know. Hey, I'm not, something happens, I didn't know anything about it. Yeah, who knew? Who knew?
You can shut it down, sis. She's gonna close it out.
Thank y'all very, very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. So this is the first.
Okay, hi.
All right, thank you all for joining. Does anyone else have any other questions for Chantel?
Okay, thank you.
You said you do, Brenda?
No, I don't. Thank you.
No problem. Y'all have a good one. Thank you for joining.